Hi, I'm Erica.
And I'm Lynn.
And we are here today to talk about our Pencil Me In table runner. Actually, I guess we call it a wall hanging, but I think I'll make mine and use it as a table runner.
Right, it's so versatile. What a great pattern. You could do, let's talk about a couple of the ways that we could use that.
Well, yes, because I was looking at it standing here, and if you just did 3 of the pencils, I think it'd be a good placemat too.
I love that, and we are using the 8-inch cube, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit, but if you used your 12-inch cube, I would make a bed runner out of this.
Oh, cute. Very good idea. Or how about a 6-inch cube, and then we could make a smaller one and make it into a pencil case. Yeah,
this is really a quick and easy pattern that is so versatile. You could do so many different things with this.
You really could. Great gift for the artist in your life, or great teacher gift, I think, as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's talk about how to put it together. It is made with some gorgeous fabric by Cloud9 Fabrics for us, and pretty basic assembly here. We've cut it all out with our cubes. So Lynn, you want to talk about some of the shapes we've used here? And
sure, this is also a great pattern for scraps too, because
it would be.
Yeah, you definitely could do that. You get great use out of that with this pattern. So the 8-inch cube, what we're doing is we've got the 2, the 4, the 5, and the 8 dies picked out here, and we are going to just show you, there's a really cool little trick with a twist on a flying geese that we're going to actually demonstrate for you today. And the rest of the shapes are squares and rectangles and the half square triangles and the quarter square triangle for the flying geese. So really basic shapes, as you mentioned.
Right.
Let's get started. So the one shape we're going to show you to cut out, this is the quarter square triangle that we're going to use as the center part of the flying geese.
Okay.
All right.
And that's going to be part of our little pencil tip here.
Right. So we've got some fabric here, and I'm going to show you that. So we need 6 of these quarter squares for this, and we've got 4 on the die. So we are going to just cut 2 layers of this color flat fabric, and then we'll have all the pieces that we need for this particular wall hanging. And you can see that I still have the salvage edge on my fabric, so I know that I've got this on the lengthwise grain as it goes through the cutter. So I'm just going to lay that down. Now again, you could cut up to 6 layers if you're making multiples of these for teachers. Or
you could have all of these done in no time.
Absolutely. So, and we've got our Go Big cutter here, so this should just take a second.
Well, and we're cutting more than we need, so I think a great tip is to have, I like to keep little Ziplocs with the numbers of the dies in my cube, and so I've got 2 extras of this one, and that's going to be shape number 4, I think. So now I've got 2 extra number 4s. I can just put them in my little bag for number 4s. So when I'm doing something scrappy or when I want to kind of play with my fabric, I've got some things ready to go.
That is a great tip. Here you go. I'm going to give you one of these, and we'll get started. So Erica is going to show us how to create this this little effect here with the tip of the pencil. So we're actually thinking outside of the box with our cube. That's right.
So we do have this little piece that makes the tip of each pencil that you're going to have to cut at 1.5 by 2, and so you are going to have to cut that either scissors or rotary. Again, just a little scrap is all you need for that. And then we want to make a mark 3/4 of an inch up from the tip for that. So I'm going to take my ruler. Now the nice thing, if you've got one of these square rulers that has the angle lines, I'm going to actually make use of that for lining this up. And I'm going to put my tip there. I'm going to just line that angle up right along the angle of my piece, Lynn, so that I know I'm hitting the center. I need 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to go make a mark with my little marker here. I want to make it big enough I can see it. And this is one of those great water-soluble markers. So if it does show in the final project, just a little bit of water and it's going to disappear, or whatever brand you're using.
That's great. And you're also using, this is one of the Go new quilting rulers.
Right.
So it's great when the rulers have those angled lines on there. You can get a lot of use out of those.
It's really useful. When I first started, I didn't have the faintest idea what to do with those, but they do come in handy. So now I'm going to take my little piece and I'm going to line it up with that 3/4 inch mark, that I made and kind of center it. So I've got that there. Now I'm going to go ahead and do my 1/4 inch seam allowance on that piece.
Okay, so you're just sewing along the top edge of that.
I'm just going to sew along the top edge of that, and then I'm going to have you press it out for me. How about that?
Sounds good. I think I can handle that.
I think so. Okay, so let me get this out of here for you. And again, you can see we've sewn that 1/4 inch. We're right there where we had our mark.
Okay.
And now for the sides of this, we're going to be using the half square triangles that are shape number 5 in your cube. So I'm going to need 2 of those, 1 for either side. Now, if I was making this whole thing, I would go ahead, Lynn, and mark all of my tips and sew all of these pieces at the same time, press them all out, and then go ahead, do my half squares on one side, press, and then do all the other side. So I'd kind of assembly line with it.
That makes sense to me. Get all of the leg pieces done together at the same time. It'll go together a lot faster.
Now, even though we've added some extra fabric and we're not going to line up perfectly there, we can line it up perfectly with our dog-eared corners up here, and that's going to show us exactly where we're sewing.
Okay.
Let me get that going over here. I don't usually have a pressing assistant when I'm sewing at home. Maybe this is a whole new thing. Need to train somebody to be my pressing assistant when I quilt. Okay, I'm going to cut that off. Hand that to you.
All right.
Now I think it's going to be easy with this to press to one side. It's going to cut down on the bulk that you'd have. I know Lynn likes to press everything open, but there is a time and a place for all different pressing techniques, and this is going to work best this way. It's going to cut down on that bulk for us.
Yeah, definitely. This one requires this type of pressing.
And now I want
there
to
you
make
go.
sure
I can see how that's coming together.
It's coming together great. I'm going to line it up here, and I want to be seeing where I'm going. Go ahead, line it up. You know, the 1/4 inch seam allowance seems like a really basic thing, but you really need to watch that. It makes such a difference. Our dies are all designed for that, and it will make a difference if you get off on your seam allowance. Okay.
All right.
Back to press, and you're going to see then, when you have this done, we are going to have some extra fabric on the top where we added that tip. That's going to be really quick and easy to go ahead and trim off.
And we can see that we've got our 1/4 inch right there, where that will sew into
right. It'll sew into that
rectangle. Okay, so I will let you finish that up.
Okay, so I'm going to finish this off by giving it a quick trim, and by laying it out here. No,
I'm going to move this for you.
We run out of room on our set here. So we can just line that up here. We're just going to give it a quick trim. And again, don't forget to close up your rotary cutter. So now we've got our perfect seam allowance has given us that little tip so that when we sew this into our finished project, we're going to get that perfect tip right there, Lynn.
Looks great. All right, and then we've got our block laid out here, so we can just add that in.
Right.
And then this is what we can go ahead and piece this block together like we've done here.
Right, we fit.
And then you've got your sashing with your sashing squares, these rows, and then a little bit different rows with different square combinations.
Just giving it a little bit different look, and then you're ready to finish it and quilt it. This has been done on a home machine, and really simple straight line quilting, but then to really pop the point, I love the little, really tight little stipple on that too.
And then they left this area on the border without quilting. So it's really well done, very creative, and a lot of fun. And
the only other die you'd need to finish this off would be for your binding. And in this case, we've used a 2 1/4 inch. I know some people like to bind 2 1/2, some people like 2 1/4. We've got strip dies for both.